Shaking, everybody. Welcome back to the Nerdycouch Show. Today, I'm blessed with having the producer here again. We're going to be doing
Andor.
a little bit more Andor.
Episode 4.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It is.
I have like bits of notes and things, but I don't
Perfect.
know how much we'll use those.
Oh, probably a lot.
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot.
So this episode,
This episode.
you can tell that the story's starting to pick up,
Uh-huh.
and he's getting dropped off in the zone. Eldari to go and take some Imperial monies. So that's
Quarter's worth.
That's right.
That's insane.
Presumably to fund the rebellion that
Mhm.
hasn't really started yet, so that's
Right.
kind of exciting.
Yeah.
You can tell that the other members of that team don't want him there.
Oh my god, they're so angry.
Yeah.
Except for the one kid.
Yeah, he
He's-
seems okay.
He seems like he's just excited to be there.
Yeah.
Like he just wants to do this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ready.
But no, he was sleeping. I feel so as soon as I saw that kid and he was sleeping, and then kind of in other bits that you get to see him, the younger guy. What was his name? I can't even remember all their names, and I should have wrote them down. But
Kendry?
is it Kendry?
Something like that?
Ken. We'll call him Ken.
Ken,
The youngest one, anyway.
the kid.
I feel like he's gonna die. That's.
I got that same thing. I got
um,
that same because he's such a lovable character.
Yeah.
And he's all like, I just love everyone and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
And
Let's do some rebelling, and
he's going to die.
He's
And
all
it's going to
in.
be the super sad moment.
it is.
And
It's gonna
that
be bad.
might be a moment that tips them over the edge and gives them the momentum to push through it.
And maybe that's, because we know from Rogue One that Cassian joins the rebellion and really goes full-fledged into it. So maybe that's kind of going to be the moment that pushes him over the edge into
Yeah.
really taking the rebellion seriously.
Maybe because, like, as of episode 4, he's there for the money.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he likes the idea of the cause.
Sure.
I don't think he fully believes that they're willing to do it.
No, because
but
I mean, he
he's
even
there for
kind
the
of
money.
when he's talking on the ship as he's being flown to Eldari, he kind of throws out different names of some of the the other bits of rebellion that are around.
Yeah.
And he mentions the Partisans, which is Saw Gerrera's group.
Okay.
And they're almost like terrorist styled rebels, like they no holds barred, go and kill and blow up and no regard kind of guys.
Right.
But that's another group, that he doesn't care who you're a part of. He doesn't really
Yeah.
believe in actually joining the rebellion at this point.
Well,
so.
no, he doesn't think that it's going to do anything because you can't stand up against the Empire. You just run and hide.
Yeah, and even when he's on his way and he finds out that there's only 7 of these rebels that are going to be taking on an entire base full of troops.
Yeah.
He's not real excited about the prospect.
You could say that. You could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who else do we got in this episode? We get to meet some of the other members and kind of get to know them a little bit. But I'm waiting for the next episode to really get in depth into those characters because they do seem
Yes.
like interesting characters. But I want to know where they kind of are going to play out and who's going to end up fighting who because they
Yeah.
all don't trust Cassian.
Oh, yeah.
Or Clem, as he's calling himself,
Clem. Yeah.
which was his daddy's name.
Which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
That he took on his dad's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who presumably was hung in a town
In the
square.
square. Yeah.
It's nice. It's sweet.
So that's cool. It's
Yeah.
almost like he's getting revenge on the Empire in a way.
Yeah. They do mention Scarif in this episode, and I know you're not super familiar, but Scarif,
No.
when they're talking about Scarif, is the planet that Rogue One. That's the base they go and hit up.
Oh, okay.
That they all die on.
Right.
Spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen Rogue One. I don't know why you haven't, but
I mean, I haven't, but
you haven't seen Rogue One?
I'm gonna finish Andor, and then
Okay.
watch Rogue One because
Sure.
then it's in order.
Yeah.
And I have like an idea of Andor.
So spoiler
For
alert for
the-
you, everybody
know.
dies.
Okay.
So that's fun.
So I don't need to watch it now.
Well, it's the lead up.
I'll still watch it.
I believe this episode as well, they also kind of introduce Mon Mothma,
Yes, they do.
which she's like a big rebel leader. If you've ever seen the other three, like the original three movies.
I have
Okay,
when
she's
I was a kid.
one of the main leads of the whole thing.
Yeah.
There was also the reason that so eventually the reason that she fully gets behind the rebellion and is one of the big leaders instead of somebody that was on Senate. There was like a big incident that she was a part of where she kind of was ousted as one of the rebel leaders and then fully
Oh,
joined the cause. So she
okay.
blew her own cover.
Right.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
She's a really cool character.
She is. She's really. There's a lot of depth to her character in
Yeah.
everything you watch. In the Clone Wars cartoon series, she's got a lot of depth in there too. So,
Okay.
what else is mentioned in this episode?
Episode 4. So there's a lot about the planet and like a lot of history about Aldari in general
Yeah.
when they get there, about the people that were on the land and how they were up north and got pushed south, and now it's basically just work, work, work.
Well, and I think I don't know how many of them are even left, right?
Not much.
And they took out. So I think one of the big talking points would be that they built the dam,
Mm-hmm.
that big dam, which is actually a dam in I believe Scotland.
Oh,
Um, they built that dam in the show on Eldari, and it was like their sacred river that ran through that they dammed up,
oh,
and that's
okay.
why there's that little there's like a edifice that's kind of sitting where the river was, and
Right.
they would come there every 3 years to pray and
That
stuff.
stone monument
Yeah,
thing for
yeah,
the light show, I
yeah.
think
The
they
light
called it at
show.
one point. Which is going to be interesting. Like, I hope in the next couple episodes, when they actually attack, we get to see this light show because it
One,
sounds beautiful.
yeah, yeah, it does. I want to see it. It's
Yeah,
gonna be cool.
yeah.
What else is there? All kinds of goodies. I already mentioned the partisans. They kind of talk about Ryloth as well, or they at least mention Ryloth. If I was to go through all of the little planets and things that they mentioned, it would take really
Really long
excessively
time.
long time.
6 hour video.
Ryloth is the Twilight Cone planet.
Okay.
So the guys with the long things on their heads.
Oh, okay.
Those you usually see them as dancers in a lot of the different episodes,
Okay.
because a lot of them were enslaved and stuff. And there's rebellion happening on Ryloth, and if you're familiar with Rebels, that's where Syndulla was. Um, that's her home planet.
Hmm.
And some of the stuff that happens on Ryloth in Clone Wars kind of builds up to Rebels and stuff, where their
Oh, okay.
planet is kind of getting shafted by the um, the Empire.
Everyone's getting shafted by the
Well,
Empire.
they
Even some within the Empire.
they're kind of dicks like that.
They really are.
Yeah. Uh,
So that woman at the Empire security base, I can't remember what it's called.
yes.
She seems new. Like they said something about her only being there for like a year,
Yeah, she's just
but she also seems really like I'm gonna do this.
like she's gonna
Like
be
I'm
she's
gonna
evil.
get somewhere. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know something's happening.
So and then a lot of those pieces that she mentions in this episode around things that have been happening, things that have been stolen from her districts and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think are kind of shown in different portions of the Star Wars universe too. Like when Han Solo goes to the I'm gonna totally brain fart. But in the Solo movie, they go
Okay.
there and they rescue some Wookiees and steal a bunch of Vespian gas and stuff. And they kind of mentioned that planet as one of the places that like rebels have struck
Oh,
and
okay.
stolen things from. And then
Right.
there's a few others that she mentions that are within that kind of you can find it in the Star Wars universe too
Oh, okay.
of these
Okay.
like organized attacks. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, and at one point she tries to get all the information for what happened on Ferris,
Yes.
right? Because she was like, that ties back to another place. There was like two or three other places where they kind of did the same thing,
Yeah.
the same plan, the same item-ish.
Or
And she's
different
like, this all
pieces
ties
that
together. This is a rebel group
yeah.
forming. And no one else believes her.
No,
They're
but
like,
she's
just stay in your place.
yeah. Well, because you do what you're told. It's
Well,
the
yeah,
Empire.
but she seems pretty determined
Yeah,
to like figure this out.
and I'm kind of interested to see in the next episode kind of where that starts going because I
Yeah.
think she's gonna really dig into it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I
'Cause
think so too.
one of my favorite scenes in this episode is in the where Mon Mothma comes in and it's the big artifact dealer. Oh,
Okay.
and the fact that what's his name?
Luthen?
Luthen, when he gets into character, when he changes who he is, and you
Yeah.
get to see that before we get to the
When he puts
artifact shop, puts his wig on, and he
Hmm.
totally changes like how he's moving and how he talks and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. I thought that was really cool and very spy-esque.
Yeah.
And in his artifact shop, if you're looking around for Easter eggs, that's the prime location for Easter eggs there. Because
Yeah.
you get to see what looks like some Mandalorian armor maybe on one of the stands. You get to see Star Killer's helmet, or what looks like Star Killer's helmet. Star Killer's from one of the games that isn't considered canon currently.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of things that aren't considered canon, but this series seems to kind of just keep pulling little bits and making it feel like canon.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure if,
So then
eventually,
maybe eventually those games will become canon.
or yeah, or there's a lot of things that could become canon um,
Hmm.
through that. You get to see in there some holocrons, which are like Jedi and Sith have these holocrons that hold knowledge.
Oh, okay.
And then they're huge, and I mean, generally when you see holocrons in like the other cartoons and stuff like that, they're like, a hand-sized little thing, but
Okay.
on the shelves they're like these massive holocrons for some reason,
That's weird.
and I
Okay.
don't know if
I wonder
that's
why.
on purpose or if they're like replicas, which would be also weird.
Well, yeah, because that's not actual size.
No. You get to see Twi'lek Calicori, which is like a family totem almost for the Twi'leks. And all
Okay.
the families have them and they add these things to them as, your family grows and stuff like
Oh,
that,
that's cool.
which is cool. What else is there? There's Luthen has a kyber crystal
Right.
that he wears, which is interesting that he has one because that's, Jedi power source for their weapons and stuff like that.
I wonder how he got that.
Don't know. And I mean, like there's planets where you can find kyber crystals and stuff, but why would he have one is kind
Why
of
would he have one? Yeah.
my question. And then there's the Indiana Jones references that are inside. He's got frozen in carbonite some artifacts from Indiana Jones, like the whip and I think boots and something else that he had there too. And
So is Indiana Jones becoming canon in Star Wars?
maybe. And then, well, so if you go way back to the original trilogy, even, and the old Indiana Jones movies, in one of the Indiana Jones movies, on one of the pillars in the glyphs, there's R2D2 and C3PO
Oh, okay.
on the glyphs. So there's always been this kind of
Like crossover
transference,
between them.
crossover stuff that they've always done, which doesn't mean necessarily that Indiana
Well,
Jones is gonna jump on a spaceship and.
could you imagine though? That
But
would be pretty cool.
I would watch
I would watch that a
Harrison
lot.
Ford hanging out with Harrison Ford.
Right?
Be cool.
Oh my God, how would they do that?
I don't.
That would be awesome.
It would be
That would be so
be interesting.
cool. Yeah.
Maybe as like a special.
Yeah.
Non-canon.
Non-canon, just everyone
something
wants to see
stupid.
this,
Yeah.
so let's do this.
Yeah. But I think that's all I really have to say about it so far.
We get to see Inspector Weasel.
Inspector Weasel. Oh, I didn't even talk about him at all.
Inspector Weasel.
So he's fired.
Oh yeah.
Has to go home to his mama.
Oh yeah, he is quite upset.
Mama slaps him
Mm-hmm.
and then hugs him.
And then hugs him and then screams at the neighbor.
Yeah.
Mind your own business.
Lets him come in. He's his mom is what's her name from Harry Potter? The squib that saves Harry Potter, goes to court for him. Non-magical.
Oh, I have no idea.
No, I can't remember her name.
I don't know. I'm not big on Harry Potter.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know what we're doing here.
We have nothing in common. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
How are we friends?
Through Nerdy.
Oh, that's probably
Yeah, that's about it.
it. Yeah. Yeah, he's got to go home and face the music, I guess, and has to reorganize his life and try and figure out what he's going to do with it.
I don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, I kind of feel like at this point he's blacklisted from anything to do with the Empire.
You would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And so, like, is he just gonna phase off the show, or is he just
I can't.
still not done?
I can't see it. He's been a pretty main baddie at this point,
They show him a lot,
and he's at this point obsessed with Cassian.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's obsessed.
I don't think he's just gonna let it go.
No, maybe he'll become a bounty hunter
Maybe,
and be targeting Cassian first go. I don't know, but
maybe
something interesting's got to happen with that
something's
guy.
gonna happen with him. There's no way they're just gonna write him off the show.
No. No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for the next episode.
5's gonna be good.
It's gonna be great.
I really hope the attack in 5.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He just got there.
I know, but
They got to
it's
foreshadow.
only what, 2-3 days away at this point.
Well, they have to foreshadow the attack.
I guess they gotta build up the attack. So maybe in 6.
Because I don't know. I don't know how much past the attack we're going to get. I don't know. Like how many episodes passed.
I mean, I hope at least one past the attack.
Like
an after.
this is kind of what happened after Jam.
Like getting ready to go into Rogue One.
I could feel that.
You know, like where does Andor go? And well, I guess Andor was still alive then after the end of this series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know he's gonna live.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
don't know about the rest.
So bananas.
As far as bananas go, what? Because I know I keep hearing things about slow progression, blah blah blah, and the fact that this Star Wars series isn't as kid friendly as the old stuff, and that was always kind of George Lucas's vision, which is why some of the hardcore Star Wars fans are like, "Yeah, this isn't right. Star Wars is for everybody." But we have a totally new generation of youth that are watching things like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Like, I work at a school. Most of the kids in grade 3 and 4 have seen Stranger Things, and I mean, this.
My kid has seen Stranger Things, and then this show is way less.
Yeah.
Like
It's
not made for kids.
It's
than Stranger
gritty
Things.
and shows that underbelly of the rebellion beginning and stuff like that. But I would let my kid watch this show.
I would let my kid watch the show.
So as far as bananas go,
Uh-huh.
for all of those naysayers,
Okay. All right.
what are you going to rate episode 4? The Golden Banana.
I did 9 bananas for episode 1 to 3
Yes.
because I really like this show. I'm gonna do a 9.1.
It's going up.
It's still just as good.
Mhm.
I'm still sucked right in, and I still know nothing about Star Wars. And I get excited every week waiting for the new episode to come out. So it's up a bit.
Yeah.
Mostly because I know there's an attack coming,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to see it.
The action's
So-
gonna come.
It's gone up by 0.1.
That's good.
Not quite a 10.
No.
But I feel like if I was a Star Wars fan going into this, it would be like beyond 10. I would just be enthralled with it.
Yeah. And that depends on what kind of Star Wars fan you are, really.
Exactly.
Because if you're one of those that thinks that it should be a full children's show or something.
I don't think it should. I think honestly children could watch this.
Oh, so do I. They're not up
little
there.
little ones won't understand most of
They're
it.
not
but
there smoking death sticks.
No.
So.
No.
Which is a reference to other Star Wars where
they were smoking.
they were trying to get them to buy death sticks and stuff.
Well, I mean, back then we watched everything. There you
That's
go.
true.
What did you give it?
I don't even remember what I gave the last one.
You gave it an 8.5.
8.5. Story development pieces, and my excitement over what's coming up, and it's still building for me. I'm definitely gonna shift up to 8.75. And especially with this artifacts piece and the amount of Easter eggs that you got just in that one like scene, I'm getting more excited every time that I'm watching. So I'm good.
And the fact that Mon's husband might like get it right in the throat.
I'm hoping he does.
Then
We didn't even talk about Mon's
that's
husband,
exciting.
but he's like a Nazi supporter, an Empire supporter.
Yeah.
Yeah. essentially.
Yeah. And she is a supporter on the outside.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. So remember,
I hope it gets it.
like,
Like.
subscribe,
Mm-hmm.
and leave your comments about where do you think the show is going and what's gonna happen with these characters. Do you think that young fellow, part of the rebellion, is gonna die? Do you think that the rest of the team is gonna die? It's just gonna be Cassian getting out of there. What do you think? Peace out. We'll see you next time.